Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be going through our It Came From Outer Space DreamSnap submission. At first, I thought that I wanted to do this indoors. There's some great windows that are outer spacey, including my favorite here on the left, the purple galaxy arch window. It's absolutely gorgeous. However, I'm kind of burned out on this theme and this room. To be honest, I created this back in November for a design challenge hosted by the community, and I used this room again for a January design challenge for the New Year New Valley 24 design challenge hosted by Doing Dev Things, and I believe it was Drea Plays. And this photo is like the epitome of what I could accomplish in this room. We had to create a touch of magic item, and I created this dress. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite creations I've ever done, and I don't really feel like there's anything that could really top it for me with this room. And I didn't want to recreate it or reimagine it, honestly, so I decided to go ahead and try to do an outdoor theme this week. And I went around Eternity Isle, went around Dreamlight Valley, trying to find the best spot for this photo. And with limited options, this is kind of what I came up with. So over in the wild tangle, there are these outer worldly looking plants that have spikes, and these were the inspiration for my photo. There happened to be two of them in this area, so they were the focal point in the frame for the photo, and I brought over Eve's ship to be the other really big thing within the photo. I started out putting down some different trees. I love these ancient landing trees with the flowers, so I definitely wanted to include them. And then I start putting down some other elements as well. Definitely wanted to use the Toy Story aliens, Stitch's ship. I started out thinking I wanted to use Jafar's communication device, but end up switching that out later for the Merlin's tablet, I believe it was, for the Dreamlight library. And I'm just playing around with some of the lighting, and this is kind of what I think I want to do. So I really want to lean into the glowy factor. I start to include some of these lamps around and try the aerial lamps, but I don't like the look of it. I'll later pull in some of the ancient landing lights just to give it some more glow. I use some of the flora from Eternity Isle that looks more under the sea slash alien in nature, and start putting down Wally items and futuristic items to match the tags. I don't know when I forgot this, but I had previously stated in another video that putting down multiple of the same item counts toward the tags. But when I was taking this photo, I was doing test shots and realized my tags were really low for what I had put back there, so I thought maybe it was just too far away. So I started to pull things forward and tried to take the photo again, and I wasn't getting the tags that I thought I should have been receiving. So I started running around taking pictures, and I was like, oh my gosh, when did I forget this? It is one item per tag. So like if you put multiple down of the same item, it's not gonna count toward the tags. So I removed the duplicates and just started placing down anything and everything that I had that fit the tags. Unfortunately, they do not include the suggested tags in your screen shot when you take a photo, so you don't know how many you have. So I know a lot of the things I place down aren't really reflecting in the item count, but they are Toy Story and or simple. A lot of the things that I put down count more toward those tags, I think, than the actual mandatory. But it's important that you do the mandatory and the suggested tags. So here I'm bringing in the Pizza Planet. I put it on the elevation to where you can only see the rocket ship. And I love that effect of being able to see that through the trees. I, of course, had to use the V8 Cafe. The glow off of that, especially with the filter that I'm going to be using, is absolutely gorgeous. So I went more with the semi-developed planet essentially, and I use that as kind of the fuel station for the ships. So I include later another Stitch ship, um, Buzz's ship, which you can't really see from where I stand in the photo, and the ancient uh, like bike. I don't know what it is. But I include those all there. Of course, need to include an ancient machine, and my junkyard is ever growing behind Eve's ship. Um, and I just try to put as many things as I can. At this point, I'm putting simple tags, so you're not going to see that reflected in the item count. And I put a ton of these coral around, thinking they are like alien rock formations. And you end up, I think, only being able to see one of them in the actual photo. And of course, these bioluminescent trees, I think, add an amazing glow. And I include some other bioluminescent flora as well. The other coral, the amoebos, I think they're called, and the corkscrew ones all add to that glow. And eventually, I will pull in. As I was taking the photo, I was seeing a glow from an ancient landing light fixture, and I was like, wait, I can move those. So I pull some of those over here as well in a little bit. And I also loved the fact that the little scramble coin figurines were simple tags, so I was able to put all of those that I have in the photo as well. And they're really low profile, so they didn't peek through in the background near Eve's ship. So that's something I'll be doing here shortly. And of course, one of my key things that I include in pretty much every single build of mine is the beach grass. I think it does a great job of adding some additional flair to the photo. Um, when you don't want to include items to look cluttered, that it takes up some space and adds some visual interest, even though it's not really adding any other element to the photo. And I use a mixture of flora from Eternity Isle along with flora from the original valley. You mostly the ferns. I think the ferns do a great job of being low profile additions that can add to the space and fill up maybe a blank space that looks weird in your photo and give it some visual interest. I end up going and collecting Stitch from the restaurant because I want to have him near his ship in the photo. He's, I think at this point, I would say my favorite character in the game so right now. So I absolutely wanted to include him in this build. Um, Inadvertently, while I was doing this, the Brumble fencing or Brumble, I don't know what it's called, Brumblestone fencing that we have with the green and the orange. When I put those down to add some additional glow, I accidentally inadvertently trapped Eve near her house since she couldn't move, which ended up being a benefit later when we were submitting the photo. We were able to capture her mid-flight, so I love the juxtaposition that we were able to get with that of having Stitch on the ground and then Eve flying in the background. I also included up near Pizza Planet some other Toy Story items that I had that were bigger and wouldn't fit behind the tree or the ship. I don't know if those are counted in the actual tags because Toy Story is a suggested tag, so I can't tell if it was counted. It's the same biome, but a different elevation. So that'll be something I definitely want to test in the future as well to see if different elevations in Eternity Isle will still count toward your item count. But I'll have to wait for a mandatory tag probably in 2 weeks to test that out. But that's definitely something that I want to look at. But I think it's really coming together here. I continue to utilize the rain that always happens when I try to take a photo in this game, and utilize the time here to continue to look at the frame of the photo and tweak little things. At one point, there was some flora that was covering up the Stitch ship at the V8 cafe. So I moved that to where you could see what I was going for as far as it being a fuel station, and just continue to move things around until I think that it's exactly the way that I want it. And this pretty much ends up being where I end up taking the photo. I think it looks great. When I was taking the photo, I wasn't convinced, but the more I look at it, the more I like it. So I move things around again just to get the perfect shot, and we end up getting Eve mid-flight here, and that is our final photo. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this process video. I know it was sped up a lot. Um, it took me over an hour and a half, I would say, to do this, so we really had to speed things along. But in the end, absolutely love the way that this turned out. The glow, the night sky, the different elements on the different elevations, I think just add something to it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your night or day wherever you are. Bye.